Hi, Mike Matchett with Small World Big Data, and we today are talking about how to make a better remote desktop, virtual desktop delivery system. I'm here with Leostream, and we are going to be talking about what they do to help people do a better job with their virtual desktops, their remote desktops. How do they make someone who is sitting somewhere connect to the right asset somewhere else? And it's a thorny problem. So I have got the CEO and VP of Product here, Karan Gondoly. Welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Leostream is maybe not the widest brand recognized name in IT, but you've been around for a long time and you've been solving this problem for quite some time. So tell us a little bit about Leostream and where it fits in this virtual desktop stack.
Right. So Leostream, our whole purpose in life is to empower enterprises to build a better way to manage hybrid work. And I emphasize the word build because it's really, we're not a full stack solution. What we want organizations to be able to do is to leverage the hosting platform, be that virtualization cloud on-prem, and leverage the display protocol they need that's appropriate for the performance that the user needs. And then you use Leostream to manage all of that and give IT one place for monitoring usage and give end users one place to connect to whatever it is that they happen to need. So ours is all really about giving organizations flexibility to satisfy the types of workflows that they can't otherwise do.
All right, so if I'm normally going into this as an IT person and I'm thinking I got to provide some sort of remote work solution for somebody, I might just go to a big company and you can rattle them off because we all know who they are and just buy their full stack thing and implement it. But that's not always going to get them to the right spot. Can you tell some of the challenges that they run into if they go that route?
A lot of times the challenge depends on the types of problems you're trying to solve. So we have some organizations that they need to provide access to Mac OS, remote access to Mac OS along with.
I've got a Mac. I'd be upset if I couldn't use it.
So yeah, so they put in Leostream and now their users can access all of that from within their Leostream login. So that's some example. Another one is really to use the display protocol. So you have some customers who want to be able to leverage PC over IP for part of their environment, but then they have, there's licensing associated with that. And for the users who don't need that kind of performance, they want to just use RDP. And so if you want to be able to manage that and have one place where all these users go to get access to it, then that's another example of Leostream. Another one is just the ability to control costs, particularly in the cloud, because we give people ways to automate capacity and power state in the cloud. And in the cloud, you're paying for that instance when it's there and when it's running. And you want to be able to minimize those two facts based on user need.
All right, so it's occurring to me that I could run separate stacks for different classes of users in my organization, but then I have multiple monitors, multiple points of influence, multiple policies I have to set up. So I can use Leostream as my single connection broker across my entire enterprise and create policies to mix and match people to the different resources they need as appropriate. Is this difficult to insert into those bigger stacks of technologies, or is this something that people find pretty natural to fit in the middle?
No, having it fit in is really, really straightforward. It's all just networking. As long as the connection broker can talk to all your different pieces, then it all just works. We have this concept called centers. And so you just give us some information that we need to, where does your vSphere hypervisor live, or what region in AWS are you connecting to? You just tell your connection broker that, give it some credentials that have privilege to access the APIs that we need to call to manage those environments, and then you're up and running. It really is. I think we have a video on our YouTube channel or Vimeo channel that's like, here's how to set up a broker in 4 easy steps.
All right. So this is something you can get in there. Now, does this work with everything that I might want to be using, or is this something that's really just tailored for a certain type of cloud provider, like vSphere or something? Is this something I can really use with everything that I might have in my portfolio?
It actually is. And the nice thing is, so there's these different environments that we have this API integration with. All the cloud providers, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, a number of hyperconverged systems like Nutanix and Verge.io. There's all these things with the API integration, but all you need to do is install our Leostream agent on any operating system, client or server operating system, Windows, Linux, Mac, put our agent on there, register that agent with your connection broker, and now you can manage that machine within Leostream. And so that means you can reboot it from the Leostream console.
Okay.
You can control access from the Leostream console.
All right. So if I've got a complex, or not even that complex, but I've got a requirement to connect remote users or edge users or offices, or even people in offices with different resources depending on who they are, what their tasks are doing, and so on, I might find that the complete stack from a given vendor has problems or challenges, and I can go in there instead and say, let's put Leostream as my sort of a starting point for building both up and down, connecting on the back and forth. And you call it a broker for a reason, I guess, right? Because to me, that's what you're brokering, the front and the back, and connecting stuff on there. And it has this sort of self-defined firewall, I understand, piece of too, called the gateway, which we could spend a long time doing. But tell me, you've been doing this for a long time. What's new with Leostream? What are you seeing people asking for, and what are you guys working on?
Oh, well, we're working on, a lot of our focus has been on the RESTful API for the connection broker. And the whole idea there is we're getting a lot of requests from solutions providers and also from larger organizations who want to wrap Leostream into their DevOps processes. And they want to be able to automate deploying a Leostream environment as well as configuring it. So that makes it easy to onboard new customers, makes it easy to build up the environment. So we've started adding CLIs and RESTful APIs to do all that. And that's really just going to take off over the rest of this year.
All right. So there's lots of going on there. I understand that once you get those RESTful APIs in place and the agents are producing data, there's lots of other things that can be done with that point of information and that point of control that's now sitting in the middle of the stack that people could do for performance, for security, for just resiliency, and for graceful degradation instead of having to just completely move people from one place to another, right? Anything else? I mean, you mentioned cost before. That's probably worth mentioning again, right? Cost controls. You can start to really broker for cost.
Right, cost controls. And that's not just in the cloud, that's even for, if you're using expensive hardware, you want to make sure that it's utilized to the best of its capacity. So you can create pools of these resources and have the connection broker indicate when does somebody have access to that, have it shared between users in a way that users aren't stepping on each other. They'll get redirected to a free machine in the pool instead of one that's already used. And there's also some really neat collaborative tools within Leostream. So end users, particularly now when everyone's remote, they want to be able to collaborate on sessions. And so we have this concept of invitations. So one user can send an invitation to another Leostream user and say, hey, can you join my session? And then they can work jointly on the same session.
All right, so lots of things someone could do with this. It sounds like it's a fantastic piece of architecture that someone who's really struggling with otherwise kind of vanilla delivery of stacks and running challenges should really take a look at. If someone wants to know a little bit more about Leostream, you've obviously got a lot of stuff out there, having been around for many years, but what would you sort of point people at today?
Well, I would just go to leostream.com. You'll see case studies right on the front page. There's a big old button for starting a trial on the front page. Give it a push, give us a shout, and we're happy to show you more about how the platform works. All
right. Definitely a hot topic. We should be knowing more about this because of all the remote work that we've all been doing for the last couple of years. This is probably a critical piece of architecture. Will solve a lot of problems for people struggling to actually deliver those IT infrastructure pieces to their end users in an appropriate way. So thank you for being here today and explaining this to us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. And check it out, download it, and try and kick the tires. Take care, folks. Bye.